Today, the Forum of Parliaments of Member States of the International Conference on the Great Lakes region raised concern about the protracted conflict in South Sudan that has seen several business people from Uganda and truck drivers killed by unknown armed gangs that stage roadblocks on the highway to Juba.
A number of people have been looted, attacked, others killed, and businesses collapsed because of this particular. So my colleague and other colleagues have said, visiting the borders and even the countries in regard to this particular aspect is important.
I think the best thing is to do a fact-finding mission to the area to go and find out what's really happening. And after that, also engage the authorities in both countries and even beyond to see how a solution can be found to that problem.
The conflict between Uganda and Kenya over Migingo Island was raised by Kenyan legislators who say the row over the island needs to end.
On a lighter note, I was telling him that we agreed as Kenya, as brothers and sisters, that the rock remains in Kenya and we take the water.
Boundaries run from under the ground, into the waters, into the land, and into the air. And that alone suggests the importance of this very fact.
The conflict between Uganda and Rwanda also came up again after the resolutions in Arusha failed to yield results. Rwanda did not send a representative to the forum in Nairobi.
With the interstate conflict, it is usually the beginning point is a bilateral arrangement between the two countries. If it cannot work out, then there may be intervention by other regional bodies, but mainly through the executive. And that's where the forum has been finding a challenge.
The almost 3-year-old Rwanda-Burundi row appears to be ending, and Burundi's representative to the forum says there is progress.
The border between Rwanda and Burundi was closed for some years. Has it been opened for business to operate normally?
Yes, actually it is opened. It is opened because of the pandemic of COVID-19. They have to have a test. It's an obligation, but it's possible to travel each other. Donc, Burundian can go to Rwanda, the Rwandese can go to Burundi. There is no problem actually.
The conflict in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo, for which the International Conference on the Great Lakes region was first convened, also featured on the agenda, and the first Vice President of the Senate of DRC says the government is doing everything necessary to end the conflict.
Chilombo a décrété un état d'urgence dans les deux provinces de l'Est de la RDC.
Of this year, President Tshisekedi, in order to fight the negative forces operating in eastern DRC, has taken a certain number of measures, which is number one, the state of siege in 2 provinces of the DR Congo. Number 2 is the demobilization rehabilitation program. And in conjunction with MONUSCO, the armed forces of the DRC are tackling the negative forces operating in eastern side.
Voilà un peu les mesures que le gouvernement congolais a pris pour la lutte contre les insurgés à l'est de la RDC.
During the forum, some members of parliament in Uganda brought it to the attention of the Secretary General that there is need to foster gender balance and women inclusion while choosing committee members.
I was wondering whether in this composition of the dialogue process, the women as well as the opposition are really considered.
Even if you're to look into this room, sincerely speaking, gender balance is missing out. Women, they've got to be considered, because if they're being presented well, they're able to present their views.
They may not be on this executive committee, but they may be on different committees.
It is hoped that the 12 member states will adopt the recommendations made by the forum in order to end the conflicts that are affecting some of the countries within the region, since peace is cardinal for any sustainable development, as some of the countries within the region are grappling with the ramifications of COVID-19 pandemic. Sudil Yaruhanga, NTV, Nairobi.